Mr. Massie in the house.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
Well, good evening, my friend. How are
Good
you?
evening. I'm really good. I'm really good. I'm adjusting my camera, getting the angles right, because I look a little low in the frame.
Oh,
How
we,
are you?
uh,
Are you well?
I'm well. I'm doing really
Okay.
well. How about you?
I'm good. I'm just doing a readjust. I never get this right. When we do one of these like Instagram lives, my head always looks central, like up here in my screen. And then when I hop on, I'm always like, hi. And I'm like, oh, like what's going on? So I can see you now, which is good. How are you,
Yeah,
friend? Are you
I,
well?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. What a fantastic New Year. I see America is really setting things off with a bang.
Well, we haven't spilt tea yet, so there you go.
Well, here we are. I mean, what can I say? The world is ending, the pandemic is raging, and you Yankees just like to take it one extra level. That's what I can say. No,
That's
seriously,
right.
are you well? You had a good start to the year so far?
We really have. We're really excited. We've been doing all these great interviews that are going to be launching this season. It's been fun just doing these giveaways every night and having everybody
Mm.
jump on. And I don't know, we've had a lot of fun with that. And you know what? I'm just glad to turn the page on 2020. And even though it was, it's all good, I'm excited for something new. So there you go.
Well, we all know the real highlight of this week is happening right now as we speak. I mean, I know you've been speaking to a couple of people and you might have a couple more lined up, but really, the people that are watching this right now, this is the highlight. You are lucky to be alive at the time that this is happening. That's what I would say. That's what
It's
I would
so
say.
true. It's so true.
Yeah.
And that's why we left our Christmas tree up in the background because it's just
Mm.
like Christmas morning and you're just that Christmas miracle that we all just get to, enjoy and have fun and it's
Well,
just magic.
personally, I like to think I'm the angel or the star or the fairy that would sit on top of that tree, but I'll let you decide which is the best fit, Scott. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. We take our
Oh,
decorations down like literally the first of January. I'm like, get that away now. Put it away. Put it away. Because all of November and all of December, we're working with it. We're putting it up in people's houses, in businesses. We're doing installs with it. So by the time I do my own, I'm like, oh, just fling any old thing up. Oh, just get it up.
I, you know
It's
what?
not
I
that bad.
understand. I totally understand.
Hmm.
So we're having lots of great people joining us. So everybody knows. Why don't we before we get into happening? What is it we're giving away tonight? I'll let you tell us about it.
Well, I hear that this week you're doing a ton of lovely giveaways. Tonight is the best one. So we are giving away tonight 5 copies of my brand new ebook, which is the Sustainable Floral Design Collection, which we only released less than a week ago. So you're really getting the good stuff from me, Scott. I'm not giving anything away tonight that is like subpar or like a freebie. This is the real goodness that you're getting.
Well, that's awesome. And I can't wait. I know the last 2 books, I genuinely was impressed with the last 2 books. Not that I was surprised, of course, but just really, really great. And so everyone's in for a real treat who wins this book. And so I'm excited about that.
Thank
Um,
you.
Sergio, as long as you're not giving away a robe, this is better than Christmas morning. Oh, there you go.
I
Okay.
saw this comment, but I don't know what she means by a robe.
I
Like a
know.
dressing
I
gown?
know.
Why would
I'm
I
like,
give
I'm
that
not quite
away?
sure. I have a feeling I'm afraid to ask actually. So we're just gonna keep going.
Gucci. I'm not giving it away. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Well, Joe,
Elaborate more though, please, because I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Are my ebooks not enough for you, Everbloom? I'm joking.
well, well, it's really great because she actually won Allison's book last night, so that's awesome. So
Mm.
we've had winners here. Oh, it was a viral mom joke.
Oh my gosh. I don't need anything more viral, not with COVID going round. You keep that to yourself.
So I love that. That's hilarious. So in order to win one of these books, you need to leave a comment down below, just like so many people already have. And we are going to assign numbers to every comment, and it goes off to our secret accounting office in the back, and they randomly pick a number so that way we can give these away. And anyway, it'll be great fun. We're doing it at the end of this live though, so hang around.
Before we begin, can I apologize for my hair? So I have, like, I'm not even joking, I really want to make a sincere public apology to the people of the United Kingdom, the United States, Australia, wherever people are from today, because I didn't get a haircut all of December because, like, you know, it was getting a little long, but I thought, oh, I'll style it out, that's fine. And then I thought I'll get a haircut like the 1st of, you know, in January. And then we've gone into lockdown here in the UK. So everywhere is shut. You can't get a haircut. And I'm looking like, I don't know, something shaggy from the 70s. I don't know what to say. It's a public apology. That's what I need to say to everyone for today.
You know, on behalf of the United States, we'll accept your apology. And thank you very much. You know, we just thought you were just wild and free. So
as you Americans like to treat things recently. That's what I can say. No. All right, what are we talking about tonight?
We've got to get on to, I know we could go on like this, I know because we have for hours. So I want to make sure that...
Said I have a COVID coif. I love that. I love that. Rimrock Flower Farm. I like you. That's funny. COVID coif. Mullets might be back in fashion soon. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there.
What is that expression about mullets? It's business on top and party in the back or something like that?
All I am, Scott, is all party all the time.
So we've got people joining us from Texas. I'm just moving on from there. Texas, Kentucky, Scotland, Kansas, all kind of stuff. Great. This is always awesome. Somebody didn't know you were so cheeky. Are they new here?
They must be visually and audio impaired. I mean, I'm joking. I'm joking over.
So before we continue, I want to jump in here. If in case somebody doesn't know you, they're just on because we've been doing giveaways. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell us about your business. Tell us what's happening.
Haven't you read out my bio?
No.
Why am I
so
here?
Many times. You've been on so many
Speak
times.
to my agent. No.
I was trying to leave that to you.
Okay, how to sum myself up? Late 20s, single, likes long walks on the beach. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, honestly. How to sum myself up? Okay. I have been a florist for longer than I care to say. My name is Joseph Massie. I've been a florist since I was, started out in the industry when I was like 14 years old, which gives me a good 15 years plus experience in the industry. I like to consider myself a fine artist and a floral designer. A good chunk of my work is in sculpture and installation work, but I'm also very well known for obviously my floral design. I would probably say I am best known for winning 5 gold medals at Chelsea, because that just makes me, you know, an endless rock star. And yeah, my business is based in England, in the northwest of the UK. I live in Manchester, but I'm originally from Liverpool. Yeah, and I like to think I'm just really great. So here I am. No, I'm joking.
Truthfully I mean, I've been a part of your workshops. I've seen you teach. You're the real deal, and I'm always excited because I feel like everybody who takes your courses walks away from not just learning a design, but learning the techniques and the mechanics that can help you go catapult yourself to any kind of design. So that's awesome.
Thank you. You're always so kind to me. Like, I think that people watching should know that I met you first when I was like 25.
Yeah, I think I was there for your 26th birthday, I think. Or somewhere around there.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah, you're right. Oh, you're right. We had birthday cake together. I remember. So, yeah, we've known each other for about 7 years now, and both of our careers have blossomed since then. Thank God. And it's always a pleasure to be here. I'm so excited to be doing this live with you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, okay, so last year, I was really thrilled because you launched your 2 sets of courses during the summer. then you get again in the fall. And I know recently I've learned about your new program, and I just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
kind of give you the chance to kind of share about that because I just can't wait to hear about it. It's called Flower Class, right?
Yes, it is. So, I guess what it comes down to, Scott, is last summer when we launched our online courses for the very first time, I kind of was super relieved and super excited that they were really well received. But what I wasn't kind of prepared for, I guess, was the community that would come with that, like the amount of questions that we would get on things, the amount of emails and, messages and DMs that I would get afterwards. And I just kind of thought, oh my gosh, there is this potential for so much interaction here. And instead of it being, a kind of, I don't want to say simple transaction of, learning one course and then never kind of progressing or learning anything else, we had a lot of students contact us to say, what are you coming out with next? Or when are you releasing, like an installations course? Or when are you going to be doing funeral work? And there was just this really kind of positive hunger for, I guess, professional development and to learn more and to kind of better yourself in your craft. So we sat for a while and we started thinking about kind of how we could kind of bring that offering into something that was tangible and something that was fun as well, something that people would really enjoy being a part of. So this January 1st, a week ago, we announced Flower Class, which was the least rubbish name we could think of. There were quite a few terrible ones. So we came up with Flower Class and it launches on the 1st of February. And Flower Class is essentially a really cool floral membership for people who want to sign up. They pay a small monthly fee, and for that you hear from us weekly. So you will get a hands-on design tutorial where every single month you have a live webinar with me every month on a business or a theory topic. You get a support call once a month where we check in just to answer questions and kind of check in with you guys and see if you guys what you need or if you want to discuss anything or debate anything. And we also publish a How I Made It, which is our really popular step-by-step articles. So the kind of goal is that you will keep in touch with us pretty regularly from the 1st of February, So it's been really well received so far. So we're super excited for it.
Well, I'm great. I'm glad we're helping promote it. We've actually, if you want to, we put a link on our website right at the top of the banner. You can go there, just put it up. You can
Oh,
go there
nice.
and go straight to it. Make it easy for everybody. At
Mm-hmm.
theflowerpodcast.com. Obviously, Joe has his stuff. You can go there too. So, we just want to make it easy for you to kind of connect. To reiterate, for those of you who just may have joined us, we're giving away 5 copies of Joe's latest ebook tonight. And if you make a comment, sing Joe's praises, talk about, if you have a question, put it in there. We'll try to cover what we can. And that's how you enter. And so that's how you get to enter. We're going to choose 5 people from tonight's comments, and you're going to be the lucky winner. So have fun with
And
it.
can I just say, Scott, like these books that I'm giving away tonight, the Sustainable Floral Design ebooks, are way better than any other prize you've given away this week. Like I haven't even looked at what you've given away this week, but honestly, this is the one. This is the one.
And on top of that, it just came out. So like people haven't even had time to probably go get it yet.
Oh,
So
someone's just bought it.
oh,
Petunia's Florals just bought it. Do you like it? Is it good? I hope it's good. If it's not, don't write anything below.
so we have a question. What makes you so passionate about sustainability in your work? Ooh, that's a good question.
Ooh, I think so. I have to be 100% honest with you, Scott, and 100% honest with everyone who is listening right, like with us right now, because you know as well as I do that I started out 15 years ago, and frankly, as I say in the intro to in the book collection, sustainability wasn't a thing 15 years ago. It was not a topic that was discussed. Floral foam was used everywhere. It was something that wasn't I don't want to say a trend because sustainability isn't a trend, but it was something that was, it just wasn't a thing that people talked about. So I was trained using floral foam and grew up using floral foam. And it's really been a process over the past 3 or 4 years in my practice of, I guess, a level of awareness of kind of looking at what I do and looking at what we do, what I do personally, and look at what I do in my studio and start to think about how what I do has an impact, not just on me, but on the people around me and on, the wider environment. And frankly, I think in this day and age, there are so many cool techniques in my ebook that enable you to be able to do pretty much any design that you want to in a really sustainable way. So it's really become a passion of mine. And I have to say, it has been greatly spearheaded by my good friend, Toby Nelson, who I worked with about 3-ish years ago in just outside of Seattle. And she kind of lit this fire within me to kind of re-examine all of those designs and all of those areas where I would usually go to use floral foam and think, what else can I do? What else can I use? And really over the past year, that's when I've been able to dive into sustainable floral design technique. And I've been doing that for the past year, and these ebooks are the result of that study. So.
Well, thank you for mentioning Toby, because she, I know I met her in person for the first time 2 summers ago. And it was just a lovely, time to get to meet her and to kind of hear her passion about it. And that's one of the reasons why we also have, if you're new to the Flower podcast, we have a great interview with her. Plus, she did a blog post for us on sustainable mechanics. And what I really loved was, and I'm connecting this back to you, Joe, because I noticed recently on Instagram you had like a promo for your course or your flower class, and I saw you doing mechanics with moss and things I hadn't seen before. And I'm like, people just don't realize that, 100 years ago, the kinds of things that people did before foam. And I thought it was neat to see you. I almost was like in different cages and things like that you had put moss in and stuff. And I guess I just feel like really reflecting on, what you do and how does it impact our environment and, the landfills and whatever. And I don't know, I just feel like it was really cool. And I appreciated seeing what you're getting ready to do and some of the ideas that you're kind of taking it to that next level, like you often do.
Oh, stop it. I mean, there's only so much of this I can take, honestly, because like everyone watching, heart the video right now if you think that Scott is the most outrageous flirt, because honestly, he does not let up. It is flirtation after flirtation after flirtation. I mean,
you can't take a compliment. That's not my problem.
I don't need any more compliments. My head is like this. My head
we're
is
trying
like
to
this.
fill out your hair, so let's see what we got here. What do you think?
You're right, and I think I have to be honest with you. Like, I think I kind of didn't dig into sustainability earlier, and this is like a pretty big confession, I guess, on my part. Frankly, because I think a lot of the designs that I saw, have you seen all the hearts going up the side? Everyone is like, yeah, he's flirting. Like, it's literally not stopping. Amazing. So I kind of was a little put off the idea of diving into sustainability because a lot of the work that I saw talking about sustainability was very natural, was very like earthy, was very rambly, was very wild. And I have to be 100% honest with you that because that's not my style, I thought, oh, this isn't really for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I looked at so many great designers that do sustainability in their work, and I thought, well, that style isn't for me. Like, it's not something that resonates with me. My style is maybe, in my head, a little more contemporary and a little more blocky and a little more whatever. So it kind of was a little bit of a mental hurdle for me to get over, to realize, oh, like, I can still make things that look like me and I can still make things that feel like me with a completely sustainable technique. I don't need to go to my garden and cut, 3 armfuls of weeds and, have a great time with them. I can still use the flowers that I want to use. I can still make things that I think I really, really like. just with a sustainable mechanic behind them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And it really has been a journey. Like over the past year, I have done so much work on the mechanics of the floral mechanics of what goes into things. And now I'm pretty confident that I can sit here and say to you live, like that I can make any design that I could before without using floral foam in a far more sustainable manner. Um, and I think that's a pretty small thing to say. Like, it's not going to change anyone's life, but it's changed my life, and it's changed, the consumption of, goods that I use, and it's meant that my business and my practice is a little better for the planet, and that's not a bad thing. So there you
Well, I
are.
don't think that's a little statement at all. I feel like that's really a bold statement because I know that how many times I've had these kinds of conversations with people, and they're
Mm,
always like, "Oh, I can see this," or "This was a trend anyway." But then they always think of this one example that, and typically it's funeral work. That I mean, I still kind of need it for that, or I need it for delivery so my flowers don't move around. I mean, there's
mm,
always some caveat where they still feel like there's not a good solution to that. So I
hmm.
feel really good that you're saying that you pretty much because your style is not as
Beautiful.
whimsical. Well, it's not as whimsical. It's not as weedy, perhaps, as some people might think others might be. But I
Mm,
feel like which I love that style too, by the way. But I'm just saying to have the confidence to say, "Oh, I can do this," and not and know that it's possible.
mm,
I think that's
mm,
really a big deal.
mm.
I wanted to see Florist Bank, for the record, loves your hair. So there you go.
Ah, who doesn't?
Some bravos. So here, this is interesting. Bright, I can't read. Bright Spot Startup wrote, "What do
Hmm.
you think is your greatest character flaw that hinders your work? Do
My
you
greatest
have any
what?
uh, that
My
hinders your
greatest
work?"
what? My
Yeah,
greatest
well,
what? I don't know what a character
character flaw, I mean,
flaw.
that might not be possible. Do
What
you
is
have
that?
any tips on how to overcome? I think
I don't know what a character flaw is. What's a character? I don't I don't no, I'm joking, of course.
what
Um
pretend you're playing someone on TV.
okay, so let me get my acting head on. Um what's my greatest character flaw?
But I mean, I think you kind of mentioned one thing while you're thinking, thinking that you couldn't be designed sustainably because of your style, that it was, your own floral aesthetic that you create, didn't
Hmm.
match what you were seeing, so therefore you didn't think that was possible, but then you figured it out. You
Hmm.
overcame that.
I think my greatest character, well, not my greatest character flaw. I mean, that's a little deep for an Instagram live, but I would say
Not
that, I
therapy.
mean, I usually say that for my therapist, but um, but I would say that I have a lot of, like, I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form, and I certainly don't see myself as some kind of like, brilliant person or, fantastic, amazing designer. I think that one thing that that can really be a little tricky for me is that I'm not a quick learner by any stretch of the imagination.
Mm.
Like, it takes me a long time to learn something new and to practice it and to feel really confident and real comfortable with things. And I have a tendency to stick with what I know. So it's not a really kind of easy thing for me to be like, oh, let's just throw things out the window, or let's just like I hate things that aren't planned, like anything that is like a little chaotic or a little messy or not organized. Like, I hate that. So I like to have things controlled and organized and planned really, really nicely. And I like to know that I'm doing a really good job. So I would say that probably my biggest character flaw is I could definitely be a little more flexible and a little more open to trying new things. And that's why I think talking about these ebooks and really focusing on sustainable floral design is not something that I kind of just jumped into and, you know, did one photo shoot and that was it. It was all done. It was very much a process of testing, trying things out, you know, seeing how robust certain mechanics were, or seeing how suitable certain techniques were. And over time, you really get a feel for what works and what doesn't. And that's what I trust in, not someone, you know, telling me something's amazing or something like that, you know? So yeah, that's what I think my
Yeah,
greatest flaw
I
is.
appreciate that. That was really awesome because I feel like, you know, we all have struggles. We all have things that we deal with, and it is hard. Change is hard in itself, but much less
Hmm.
overcoming, you know, designing a website, you know, maybe for the first time on your own or doing something
Hmm.
like that. I mean, that can seem like this huge monumental thing. But you know, we all have things we struggle with. So I appreciate you sharing that a
I'm
lot.
human, Scott. That's what I'm telling you.
I think there's a song about that somewhere. So let's see here. I love your honesty. I love that. Oh, okay. So Bouquet Atlanta, that's Amanda. What do you think are the top 5 ways a florist can become more sustainable?
Oh, that's a really good
That
thing.
is a good
Okay.
question.
So, I would say we actually have a sustainability policy on my website, which is published, and all of our clients can see it, all of our brides can see it. And I think that has about 7 points on there, which are like form the basis of my practice with sustainability. So I'll just reel off like I think the most obvious and most ones that I'm most comfortable with. The first one for sure is the goal to reduce the use of single-use plastics or single-use products within my company. So we will always, wherever we possibly can, look to use reusable or recyclable or multi-purpose materials again and again and again. The second thing we look to do is we look to buy and shop local as much as we possibly can. So for us right now in the UK, in the dead of winter, there are a couple of options, but not a lot. And as we gear towards, spring and summer, we get more and more of those local flower growing options. And that's definitely something that we look to do. We look to buy as much British material as we possibly can from either local flower farmers or from wholesalers that specialize in British grown product. Third thing, we always look to recycle as much as we can within the business. So we recycle all our cardboard, all our green waste. We do as much as we can on all of that type of thing as well. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but it's pretty easy. We offset our carbon emissions as much as we can. So whenever we have to fly anywhere or whenever we have to do anything of that kind of nature, and there's always an option to offset, we always do because it doesn't cost a huge amount of money, but it's something that is just sensible and practical to try and do. And then the third thing we try and do is in our company, we are what we call foam minimal. So we're very much working towards being completely foam free. And we're pretty much nearly there actually. But I never like to be a hypocrite. Like I would never like to come out and be like, oh, I never touch a foam brick in my life. I mean, I hardly ever do these days. But so we basically try not to use any of that at all. Whenever we can use chicken wire or moss or anything else, that's always what we'll look to do.
That's impressive. Thank you for sharing that last part too, because I know a lot of times I have people who talk to me and they say, I just couldn't go cold turkey, or I need them for this and this, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, well, it's not something like, yes, ideally, if you could just say no more starting tomorrow, great. But
Mm-hmm.
if it helps you to have the permission to phase it in and eliminate things where you can, and then grow to
Mm-hmm.
eliminate more, that's good too. And I think sometimes people feel like it's all or nothing, and it's definitely. I know Hitomi, when I interviewed her back in the spring, it's about reduction. It's about reducing, and
Mm-hmm.
then recycling. Is it pretty easy in the UK to, as far as recycling green waste, things like that? I mean, do they make it easy for you to do that, or is it a little bit of a challenge?
It's a little bit of a challenge, but we have a like our waste disposal company. They offer it as part of their kind of like regular service. Like it's an additional extra, you know what I mean? But it's
Sure.
not something that you particularly have to like, take it home and compost it yourself or anything.
Right.
So we have a green waste recycle, we have a cardboard, we have a plastics. and we have like a regular waste. So those are like our four kind of bins, I
That's
guess, that
great.
we have. I don't know the full specifics on plastic, so we put on like what different types of plastic they have, but they accept anything. So I assume they sort it like, you know, post collection. But yeah, I think that coming back to your point about, you know, phasing things in, I think it can be pretty daunting. You know, if you're a florist who's grown up using floral foam and it's a big part of your business, to be told, oh, like you can never use that ever, can be like super intimidating. But it is possible to phase it out and to use as little as possible or none at all. I mean, I'm trying to think when was the last time I used floral foam for like a wedding or an event. I mean, it certainly wasn't last year because we didn't do anything last year. I would have to say it might have been like 2017, maybe something like that. Like, I mean, what I'm really keen to get across is I'm not a saint. I'm not an angel sitting here being like, I can't even spell floral foam, let alone ever use it. Like, you know, I'm aware of what it is, and I have used it so much throughout my career. But now I guess, just a little bit more aware about what I'm doing and very much trying to use as little as possible, and haven't used any for at least the past couple of years. So yeah.
Sure. Well, I think I want to make sure I say this, and I haven't done a good job of it tonight. If you want to win one of the 5 copies of Joe's newest ebook that we're giving away tonight, make sure you leave a comment, a question, something down below, because that's how you enter to win. And before we hop off tonight, we're going to announce the winners. So don't go anywhere. We're definitely doing that.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
So we had a great question that came in through the question box. What are your aspirations for the future, say like maybe the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh my God, 5 to 10 years.
I mean, if someone's so young as yourself, that's like
I
maybe.
mean, I'm practically still in the womb. Like, how am I meant to think of things like that? Oh my gosh. Um, so that's a really, really good question. I mean, to be very honest with you, I don't have an answer for where I want to be in like 5 to 10 years, because I still do think in my head that I'm like young. I don't know why. I turned 33 actually at the end of this month. So that's, I guess, creeping towards 40.
Oh my
But at
baby,
this,
baby.
oh my gosh. But at the same time, I think that I have a couple of things that we're working towards at the minute, which are pretty big and pretty exciting, but I can't say too much on them. But I guess the biggest thing I'm looking forward to this year, or really hoping for this year, is that we are able to make a recovery in our business, because for the
Yes.
past, you know, year nearly, it has been like living in some kind of strange hibernation. We haven't done a wedding or an event for nearly a full year, or over a full year, should I say. We haven't been able to do anywhere near the number of hands-on classes in our school that we would, you know, usually do. It's really been crazy for us. I'm not traveling, I'm not touring. Last year I was meant to visit like the US 2 or 3 times. I was meant to go to Australia. And none of that could happen because, I was meant to do a tour of Europe last summer. And none of that could happen because of COVID. So my kind of goal for this year is, I guess I've been saying it in my head as like tenacious optimism. Like it's the name of my debut rap album. But it's also one thing that I'm really kind of working on myself, to kind of hold like a little bit of resilient hope and positivity, because like anyone in this business, especially if you're in the wedding and event sector of this business, you haven't really had a business for the past year. You know, everything was switched off overnight. And so this year for us, we're just really excited to get some green shoots out there. You know what I mean? To start being able to run our classes again, hopefully after this lockdown finishes. I'm hoping that by summer, we'll be able, you know, to be doing some weddings and some events again. It might not happen overnight, but that's what I'm really hopeful for. That's my big goal for this year, is just to kind of renew and remain resiliently optimistic for the next couple of months.
Yeah, I love that. That's really good. There's some more good questions in here. Since we just spoke about sustainability, let me ask this question, because I get this a lot too. Do you find that it's a higher cost in being more sustainable Roughly, what is the delta? I'm not sure. I don't know if I understand that term, but I feel like you mentioned a few things where, disposal, with your waste company may be slightly more expensive because of some recycling costs. But other than that, I mean, do you really think it's? That was one thing I heard a lot, that it's more expensive to be sustainable, do more natural, not. It's cheaper to use foam.
It
And
is it is cheaper to use foam, and I think that mainly comes from my experience. That mainly comes from the labor cost, because when you're
okay,
using foam, you're soaking it, you're whacking it in, and you are just like going for it. Whereas with and usually at the end of the event, you're throwing it away. You know what I mean? Like it's just a lot. It is quicker, I think. However, with sustainable techniques, it's very much a case of there is more labor, there's more preparation required, there's more take dismantling time as well. It's not significantly more, it's not outrageously more. Put it this way, I haven't had to raise my prices to compensate because of it. It's not like, it was 20% more expensive or 25% more expensive. In a lot of cases, the cost of materials is pretty much the same. If I'm using take for example like a sympathy casket, if I was using a Oasis or a Floral foam casket, that would cost me, I don't know, like £15, £20, something like that for a base. Whereas now I'll use a plank of wood and some moss and some bamboo trays. The actual mechanics are cheaper for me to use for sustainable design, but whereas I would just soak that casket and then start designing, it would take me 3 minutes to start designing, whereas now it takes me maybe 25 minutes to make the base before I can start designing. You know what I mean?
but cost. I mean, that's a great point though. But cost wise, I mean, yes, that's a cost.
Mm,
But many of those easier products to use
mm,
aren't cheap. I mean, they're not cheap to buy some
mm,
of those things.
mm-hmm,
The foam wreaths and things.
mm-hmm,
So, it's probably a good close trade-off. I know I've shared this story on the podcast, I believe, and maybe even on a live before, but I helped with this one wedding the fall before, I don't know, I guess it's been a year and a half now. And it was Jenny Early, who's here in the Atlanta area, and we were it was a really high-end, big wedding, and everything was sustainable. There was no foam. We recycled, repurposed so I was concerned about the breakdown. The actual installation part wasn't that, I mean, was nominal. The breakdown, I was afraid because of, taking everything apart and the chicken wire and all these layers of things. Um, it was huge. And I want to
mm,
say we ended up with 19 bags of compostable, product,
mm-hmm,
and five five bags of garbage. That's
mm-hmm,
all we had. And it was, I mean, this was huge. And maybe it took us 30 minutes longer to break it down.
mm-hmm.
So, like you said, I don't feel like that is a huge, expense.
It's more in the mechanics, I think. They take a little longer to do, simply because like soaking foam is so quick. Whereas if you're making a base for an archway or an installation or a casket or something, that could obviously take a little bit more time
Sure.
to do. But it's not extravagant. It's not something that is like crazy different. So.
Sure. Gosh, we're getting so many great questions. Delta is changed. Thank you. The cost difference. Thank you. I wasn't
It's worth
familiar.
noting that I'll just throw out there, in the ebooks, there is two ebooks. It's like Sustainable Floral Design Part 1 and Part 2, but they come as a collection for $35 on the site. And they feature over 25 different techniques. And what I've done is I've kind of dived into a smorgasbord of a million different things. So we have some techniques for sympathy designs, we have for gifting, we have for bouquets, we have for what else do we have? Some bridal, we have some centerpieces. There's like a little bit of everything because it's basically a history of my exploration of this topic for kind of the past year or so. So it's I think hopefully there's something for everyone in there is what I would say. No matter where you are or what your business looks like, I'm kind of hopeful that, a good proportion of the techniques will be viable for someone to implement, within their own practice.
All right, so this is the last call. If you want to enter in the giveaway, make sure that you leave a comment in our feed here. Once we end this call or once we end this live and you make a comment later, it won't count because we've already done it. So make sure you
And
do.
I'll have left because I'll have lost interest.
Yes.
So answer now.
Right now or forever hold your peace.
I'll have left.
So, I love what Dogwood Farms and I think in Wisconsin says. To be sustainable is about stewardship. It takes more time, thought, and energy, but anything worth doing will take all of those things, and the earth is certainly worth that investment. And I agree with that completely.
I read that off my new tattoo, which is on my bicep. Which, no, I'm joking. That's perfect. That's so perfect.
Yeah, and that's really, and the thing I appreciate about that sharing is that's you put it so well, but that's really the mindset. It's not, you can have short-term thinking or long-term thinking, and I feel like that is really where we need to be, is more
for sure. Like in all of our online courses that we have 10 online courses that we offer. We have 6 ebooks now that I've published. We have Flower class, which is launching the 1st of February. And in all of that teaching, we don't use floral foam at all. In our hands-on school, we don't use floral foam. We certainly have done in the past, for sure. And I have certainly done it throughout my career, but it's something that it's just not required. So I hope they're useful. We've got a lot of good feedback so far from people, so I think they're going to do really well.
Well, we've had a lot of great feedback about your courses and things, comments that people have been leaving, and we appreciate that. It's always good to hear the testimonials of people who have done those things, have taken your classes. You're amazing. You're inspiring.
I know. God.
Do you have a favorite flower season?
Every single one of them, apart from winter, I have to be honest with you. I think winter for floral design is so hard to be inspired by, for me personally. Sure. I love spring because everything is like squishy and interesting and moves and is unusual and it's just so hopeful. And then summer, you have an abundance of everything, and in autumn, everything is in that last hurrah of like poetry and magic, and it's just incredible. But winter I find pretty difficult because winter for us in the UK, for my business, is a lot of like holiday decor. It's a lot of holiday decorating. It's a lot of theming and props. And winter flowers, I think they can be so special, like amaryllis and hellebore. But it's not my favorite season, like at all. So.
Sometimes it's challenging. It's interesting. I took a course. Okay, so before we continue, I want to say this is it. We're done. So if you've entered, great. We're going to let the calculating office start calculating our winners.
Get on with it, office.
Yeah, so they are. Those people in the office are some of your biggest fans. So you need to be nice to them.
Is it your family?
Yes.
I knew it was, because after we recorded my first episode of the Flower podcast, you said to me, "Oh my God, whoever was it your son that was editing it or something?"
Yes.
He was like, "God, that was a funny episode," and I was like, "You should see me live because I am hilarious." Like, I kind of think that in my Instagram, like in my social media, I always try to be like really professional. You know what I mean? Because I'm often talking about professional topics. I'm talking about proportions or techniques or sustainability, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think one of my little goals this year is to kind of put a little bit more of my personality out there. I will tell you something which is like just for you and for the people that, however many people are on this live. I've been working on a book proposal for a while now, like a physical book, not an ebook proposal. And I signed with an agent about 2 months ago. And we have had a couple of offers, which is like super exciting. And we're just kind of looking at the final kind of offers at the minute to kind of like see what's going on and kind of what is the best fit for us, which is like super exciting. Anyway, I had a call with my agent, asked me, could I do a call with a publisher who was like a little bit on the fence and like maybe wasn't so sure. And she was like, I think, giving them some FaceTime with you would be a really, really, really good thing. And I was like, okay, cool. So we did a Zoom call and my agent was on the Zoom call as well. And straight after the Zoom call, she called me and she was like, oh my God, great performance. Great performance. And I was like, that's just me. I was like, what do you mean? That's not a performance, man. So yeah. So
I love that. I love that story.
Great
Can't
performance. I was like, what? Sorry.
Can't wait for the book.
Well, it's all bubbling. It's all bubbling. I can't share anything. I can't confirm anything, but yeah. I mean, make space on your bookshelves. Oh no, I'm joking.
Well, the thing about it is, I mean, it'll probably be 2024 before it comes out the way some of these.
No, hell no, it won't. No. Thames and Hudson wanted 2023, and I was like, nah. I was like way too late. So, earlier. Well, we'll see.
Good for you. Good for you. That's exciting.
Show us your jumper, Joe. Somebody said. Oh my God, are you ready for this? Can you see this? This jumper, this sweater. Okay, so this is a little disco flower number that I wore just for you. There we are.
That is amazing. I wish you could like stand up and model it, but then that might not work. So.
Well, I mean, I'd be showing you. I'm not wearing any pants, Scott.
You know what?
This live has been done completely nude.
I've stepped into it again, so we're just gonna keep. We're gonna keep on walking. So there we go.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, oh, and you're so humble. Somebody said you're so humble. You're hilarious, and you're so humble. They must have listened to your very first episode on our podcast, where I think you said #humble about 12 times. So.
And that's because, like, if I can be 100% honest with you, that's because when I was like 20, 21, I had like 2 or 3 of my mentors at that time kind of basically said to me and was like, you're too egotistical. Like, you really need to tone it down. And probably at that point I was. Like, I thought I walked on water. I mean, I did go on to win 5 consecutive gold medals at Chelsea Flower Show, which is the youngest person ever to achieve one ever. But anyway, so I really took that to heart. And so, like, a lot of my personality, I like to think is quite jokey and quite fun and quite, charismatic and very sensual. But I do like to have a good time as well. So a lot of it is obviously, I'm not a pain. I am quite a nice person, or at least I try to be. So. Yeah,
well, you are. I know. It's okay to have fun. That's for sure.
Yes,
Someone
sir.
from Japan is joining us. That's awesome.
I'm global. Hello.
You are.
I'm global.
Would you do classes in Manchester?
Yeah, when Manchester gets out of like tier 43, we are in like a serious lockdown at the minute, and we are not going anywhere. We have just cancelled all our January classes for the whole month because we're not able to teach them. We don't know about our February ones yet. We're waiting for an update on government advice, but yeah, we'll see what happens sometime soon.
So tough. I know. I know. I've heard.
It's hard being a star.
It is, and then having to lock that up and not being able to get out in front of your fans. I mean,
yeah, in the future for sure. We'll do some.
We have someone that says, "Come to Mexico. It's nice and warm here. Once you can travel."
Send me the check.
New Zealand.
Send me the check.
We have people all over the world.
Speak to my agent. Send me the check. I'll come.
Okay, I want my commission for that too, by the way.
Oh, yeah, doesn't everybody? Let me tell you.
Everybody wants a piece of you.
Everyone wants a piece of the pie.
All right, so we should have our answer here soon. Oh, Amanda wants you to come back to Atlanta.
I love Atlanta. So you guys, whenever I go to the US, I always, it's always more economic for me to do a couple of things whenever I travel anywhere because, I don't fly economy. So when I came to, the last time I was in America was like December 2018.
2019?
2019, yeah, December
Yeah.
2019. So I did a big show at like the Cleveland Museum of Art, and that was like really, really cool. And then then I did something in Detroit, and then I came down to Atlanta. And I always try to come to Atlanta because you're there, of course. Well, you were there, of course. And Laura Irochi, who is, oh my gosh, her Faith Flowers is like such a good friend. She's amazing. I love her. So Atlanta's like my little American home. Like,
Yeah.
and I bloody love barbecue as well. God, I love barbecue.
Yeah, I forgot about that place we went to. That was awesome.
Oh my gosh,
So
you were
somebody
so
here.
drunk and all over me. Oh my God.
I know. Petunia's Florals was mentioning we signed up for your annual membership, so you've got at least one student for the year. Hashtag you're welcome. I love
Woo!
that.
Yeah.
We
So
have Virginia.
with Flower Class, you can sign up today for like an annual membership, and it's $100 off if you sign up before, I think, the 1st of February. No, end of February. We're doing it till, right? End of February. So it's $100 off if you sign up. But then obviously you can pay monthly from the 1st of February. So we've had a good start so far. So I know it's not just going to be like me and Scott in a room for a year. I mean, could you imagine? Lucky you. That's what I would say. Lucky
Well,
you.
I've got the golden ticket here.
All
So
right, let's do this.
let's see who's won. So if you're on here, say hi. I'm going to message you when we get off so we can get the information to Joe.
Your life's about to change. Well
It's
done.
totally Baron and Bell. And so you are one of the winners of this exciting brand new Joseph Massie book. Then the next winner, if you're on here, go ahead and say hi, say something. Susan Palan Floral Studio. Hopefully I'm not destroying any names, but you just won a copy of Joe's new book.
Oh my God. I can almost hear them weeping with joy
I
through the
mean,
phone.
it's the truth. And well, who's not weeping? Well, there's weeping because they won, and then there's weeping because they haven't won. But
I'm weeping because they're in my presence. I mean,
we have three more to give away. So let's see who else we have here. Small Flower Floral Studio. So you have won a copy of Joe's book as well. We have some friends from Canada saying hi on the feed. So that's awesome. I love this name. Top of the Ridge Flower Farm. So you've also won a copy of Joe's new book. I can't wait to see this book. I actually haven't seen it yet.
haven't you seen it yet?
And so we'll talk.
Have you not seen it?
We will talk about that later. But yeah.
All right.
Yes,
My bad.
yes, it's okay. And then last but not least, and I'm so excited for this person because I know they've been showing up here several nights this week. Blooms _ Chicago has won a copy of your new book.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Thank you so much for doing this, Joe. I know that, learning some of these things can change people's lives because it makes things so much better. And I just think it's great fun.
Do you want me to show you a little preview now before we go? We probably only have like a minute left. Do we?
Yeah, you can. Sure.
I can do that. Okay. I'm gonna. What I'll do is I'll see if I can do this. So this is just for you guys. Okay. So can you see? Does this look all right, Scott? Can you see that? Yeah.
You angle it down just a little bit.
Is that all right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna try. So this is the ebooks which we have, and it's all like nice big sexy images is basically what we're doing. So everything, can you see that okay?
Yeah, can you angle it down just a little bit?
Like this?
A little more?
Yeah, a little more?
That's good.
That's good?
Yeah.
All right. So everything we do is like full on nice detailed imagery, lots of gorgeous text to accompaniment to like really talk through the techniques, and everything that we have is in, like, I would like to think, pretty big details. You can see like really what we're doing step by step. in both book. It's like I would like to think it's pretty detailed, but also at the same time, it's sectioned out technique by technique. So you can kind of pick and choose, what you want to learn. You don't have to read it front to back at all. But if there's bits and pieces that you do think are great, then, by all means, you can dive in and kind of go from there. And we've also included some like really cool little full step-by-steps in there too. So if people want to, kind of look at how we make some designs from start to finish, then, we've included that as well. So it's all that kind of goodness that we have.
Well, that's important because I feel like so many times, people, when they do these how-to books, they skip steps, assuming you know what's going on. I'm glad to see that. That's really, really cool. And I feel like it's going to be helpful. I know a lot of people talk how wonderful the images are and how excited they are. So this is really great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Before I hop off tonight, I want everybody to know that tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, Calvert Crary from Flower School New York is going to be on, and he's giving away flowers. And so come join us tomorrow night. Joe, thank you so much for this. It's great especially I'm glad we got to talk about sustainability. We got to talk about your new flower class. Check it out. Go to the flowerpodcast.com. Follow the link at the top of the website. I know we're going to be, we can go to your Instagram account and follow links too. So everybody, if you don't follow Joseph Massie.
What are you doing if you're not following me?
I mean, you need to wake up.
You need to wake up. I will say one final thing before we log off, if that's okay, Scott. If you're interested in flower class, but like you don't want to sign up to an annual membership and you're not really sure if it's for you, we are running a free kind of taster of it. It's called the Flower Class Sessions. It is running from the 14th of January to the 31st of January, and it is completely free. It's a series of 3 free floral design tutorials. You can sign up through the link in my Instagram bio. We're doing 1 recorded tutorial on social media use, 1 on color theory, and 1 on a hands-on floral urn design as well. So if you want to see a little bit of what flower class will be like, sign up for free. The link is in my bio. You will live your best life. All of your friends will be jealous of you. You will become really thin, really beautiful, and really rich.
And all your dreams will come true.
And all your dreams will come true. So sign up. I mean, you've got nothing to lose. You'll wear sweaters that look like this. I mean, your life will change. Your life will change.
And your hair.
Your hair will be overgrown like mine. So link is in my bio. It's free. Go and do it. You've got nothing to lose, everything to gain. It'll change your life. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that I thank you for mentioning that. That is one of those things that if you want to get a taste of it, that's the way to do it. And I have a feeling it's kind of like, drug addicts, you give them a little taste of it and then they just want more. And that's what this is going to be like.
This is basically like an Instagram live for Joseph Massie addicts. Everyone can see it. Everyone knows it. I can see it in the comments. It's who we are. It's what we're doing. We're feeding the addiction, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
It's the least you could do. Anyway,
thank you so much, Scott. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you so much
for everyone. All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.